Hey everybody, it's the Doll Boy, and today I'm here with my very first Winx Club doll reroot. In a previous video, I showed you some Winx Club dolls that I recently got secondhand, and how I washed their hair to make it all smooth and soft again. But now, I'm taking it even a step further and giving a Mattel Winx Club doll a full reroot. If you like these types of videos, give this video a thumbs up already and make sure to subscribe to my channel, because that helps out my channel a lot. In my first Winx haul, I got this Flora doll, whose hair turned out really pretty and soft, but she did still have that bald spot in her hairline. That's why today I'm gonna be rerooting her with some DG HQ nylon hair that I got from the Doll Planet Hair. The hair colors I'm gonna be using are not a perfect match to the original hair colors this Flora doll had, but I felt like they would look really cool together and capture Flora's look very nicely. That's why I went right ahead and cut off all of Flora's original hair as short as possible. With this, I am being really careful not to cut off any of the eyelashes, because I want to keep those original. Now, to take off the head more easily, I'm filling up a bowl of boiling water and then dip in the head to soften the plastic. I actually was quite surprised with the neck back this doll has, because it does not have a big hook inside of the doll's head like we usually see, so I also did not expect the head to come off this easily. Then I take my pliers and scrape that around the inside of Flora's head to pull the leftover strands to the inside. With this, I also take my time, because I do not want to pull the eyelashes to the inside of the head. Once all the hair is pulled to the inside, you want to take your pliers again and start pulling out everything that is now loosened up inside of the head. This was a pretty tedious process, because Mattel used no glue in the head to keep the strands together, so all of them just came out in very small loose strands. After removing all of that hair, you're left with a really nice and bald looking doll head, ready to be filled up with her new hair. As always, I like to prep my hair by working on a small section at a time, comb that out very well, and thoroughly wet it with water. Then I simply lay down some small strands on my table, which really helps me in having a very consistent size of my strands. It also saves me a lot of time during the actual reroot process, and on top of that, working like this allows me to work really mess-free, because you don't have to mess around with the full hank of hair while doing the reroot. As you can see, I am also sectioning off the blonde strands on the side, so I can work on both colors at the same time. The Flora doll head that I'm working on is already very squishy as is, which is very nice for me, because I don't have to heat up the head to soften the plastic, but I can go in right away with my reroot tool. The tool I'm using is this really nice reroot tool from the Doll Planet Hair. Then to get the actual hair into this doll's head, I started out by simply wrapping a strand of hair around my finger, picking it up with my Reroot tool, and push it inside of the doll's head. But as you can tell, that did not hold the hair inside of the head well enough. This most likely is due to how soft her head is. That is why for this specific reroot, I went all around the head, using the technique where I wrap the hair around my finger in a double loop, then pick it up with the Reroot tool, tightening the knot in the hair, and pushing that into the head. This kept it in well enough so you can run your fingers through the hair without it already falling out. Doing the reroot like this will be more time consuming, so it's definitely not my preferred method. However, if I wouldn't do it like this, all of the hair would probably fall out even before I was able to add the glue to her head. To start off the process as easily as possible, I started rooting the hairline in the back. For this, I'm using all brown hair, and I do that all the way around the back and on the sides of the head too. Then when I reach the front, I'm going to go ahead and add some of the blonde hair. With this, I'm giving her pretty chunky highlights in the front, like the money piece effect that is really trendy right now. I feel like Flora was the perfect candidate to give a color effect like this, because I love how modern that will look on her, but it's still very true to her character. The main change I'm making to her original design is that I'm keeping all the hair long, and I'm not doing those very short front layers. Around the edges of that really blonde piece, I also am adding some brown strands as well, to make sure the blonde will blend in with the brown hair very nicely. After completing the hairline, I'm gonna go ahead and give her a new part line as well. For this, I'm using my easy part line method, where I simply root one row of hair very close to each other with thicker sections than I normally use, so I can separate that later into a neat parting. To match the blonde and brown rooting pattern I did on the hairline, I'm adding the blonde to the front of the part and using brown for the rest. To get a nice transition between the two colors, I'm also mixing in some brown and blonde to use that in between. After that, I use mainly the brown strands to complete the rest of that part. After rooting all of that, I can finally drag my point comb through this row of hair to reveal the new parting that I think turned out perfect. Now all that's left for me to do is root the rest of the hair normally. For this, I wanted to have some randomly placed blonde highlights in the hair to have a very nice color mixture, and also to have that money piece blend in just a little better with the rest of the hair. After attaching those blonde strands to the head, I just filled in the rest of the head with my brown hair. When I added all of the hair to the head, I twisted the hair out of the way so I can add glue to the inside of the head. For this, I use my Fabri-Tac glue. To spread this out, I'm taking a Q-tip and swirled that around inside of the head. This really makes sure everything is distributed evenly inside of the head. After letting the glue dry overnight, I'm finally able to put the head back on the body. Then, as a final step, I'm also dipping the head in some boiling water to make everything lay nice and flat. This really sets the hair in place, so you can see that I'm holding the hair firmly to the direction where I want it to go in. After that, I also brush out the hair very well and carefully run the warm water over the rest of the hair as well. For Flora, I went with a pretty simple straight haircut and gave the hair some soft waves to finish the look. In these pictures, Flora is wearing both the top and jeans from a Bratz Genie Magic doll. And that concludes my brand new look for Flora. I really hope you like this reroot on my second-hand Winx Club Flora doll. If you did, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more doll makeovers like this one. Also, let me know which Winx character you're looking forward to get a reroot next. And finally, if you want to see more of my doll photography, follow me on Instagram as well, @thedollboy. See you next time!